Yo, what's going on, man? You guys are now tuned back into the Free Sauce Podcast, and we got another very special guest this week. But you already know, before we get into the episode, make sure y'all keep on hitting that subscribe button. We still on the run to 100. We need that done, man. We need that done as a Thanksgiving present, fuck a Christmas present. We need that done ASAP. But keep on tuning in. Hit the like button below, boost up the numbers, help out with the YouTube. Make sure you comment. Keep on tuning in with the Instagram. Like I said, we got a lot of big things coming, man. We got some merch coming. We got some new people coming, man. We got a lot of new things coming, so just stay tuned. A lot of innovative things, a lot of fun things coming, man. But without further ado, we're going to let our guest go ahead and introduce himself.
Hey guys, name's Christian. I've been on here before, like season 1, when I was like in Wadi talking about jiu-jitsu. I did like a health and wellness podcast, like an audio of it. But today I just wanted to talk about different things. I'm still talking about the gym and stuff, but I also want to talk about a real estate club I've been hosting here at the school here at Illinois State that's open for anyone to join. Pretty low-key club, low commitment, but I think it's a good thing to have. It's something that was needed. It was something that was needed, something that I had a friend of mine start, and he had me continue, and it just... I'm actually like wondering why it isn't at every school. You know, why doesn't a school have a real estate club? There's no investing club, so might as well roll with it. You know, talk about school, talk about life in general, and just have a good episode.
You raised a really valid point. As in, like, why is that not something that's pushed into schools? And I feel like essentially, like when it comes to like wealth and stuff like that, it's something that is not really pushed in school just because they don't want everybody to have it. It's like if it was that easy,
or they see it as risky.
Yes, it's risky, but also it's a game. It's always gonna be a rich man. There's always gonna be a poor man. You know what I'm saying?
Always gonna be a rich dad and a poor dad.
Yes. So they don't want to. They don't want to push that agenda and make people wake up to it. I feel like essentially, it's a game that everybody got to play. It's what you want to get out of it. That's a big.
But like you said, it's always gonna be a rich dad and a poor dad. No matter, like I will say, they damn near putting that shit in our face now with social media, influencers and shit like that. Like they putting it in our face like that, but it's always gonna be a rich dad, poor dad. Some people just not gonna be willing to put in that work, or they just don't want that type of lifestyle.
Right.
It's not in there.
And I had seen a couple of stuff before. It was like, you could, like, if you give everybody $1 million right now in this world right now, in the span of a month, so some people are gonna come back.
If you gave if you offered someone $1 million, they'd take it. But if you gave them a plan, if you gave 50% of them a plan to make $1 million, they won't do it.
No, yes, but also what I was trying to say is pretty much like this: if we gave everybody in the world $1 million, right? Some people are gonna come back multiplying it. Some people are gonna come back with just clothes, with just shoes, and just cars.
Gucci.
Some people are just gonna come back with nothing in hand. It's just like everybody plays the game of money different.
Just spend it on girls and shoes and wake up broke again.
Right. You're not lying. But so what was essentially the main reason for you to go into like the real estate club to be a part of it?
So I'm a finance major here at Illinois State. So. I'm definitely gonna work a 9 to 5 after college for a couple of years, and do real estate on the side. I eventually want to retire in the real estate. I think that's the best way. And the thing is, most people think that real estate is risky, but you know what is risky? I think a 9 to 5 can be just as risky as real estate. I mean, if you think about it, your corporate W-2 job, you're one bad call away from getting laid off. You think your stream of income is so secure. That's what schools tell you. That's what my parents tell you. They tell me, go to college, become a doctor. Yeah, did a good job, all that. But, I mean, if you think about it, you're an asset to the company as well. And if you're one bad quarter away from getting laid off. And the easiest way to cut expenses is to cut payroll. So you think investing is risky? I think not investing is risky.
Everything is hard. You gotta pick your hard.
Yeah, pick your hard. What else was I say?
I mean, you seeing that now with a lot of big tech companies. They laying off a lot of people.
Twitter
They're
laying off a lot of people.
Wait, what's not risky is investing. So investing in stills for yourself, because real estate is a still. Like, why don't you analyze properties and buy properties for income? You can lose all your money today, but if you have the stills, you can make it all back, right?
Yes.
Why would you invest all your time into a company where they can lay you off tomorrow and you're not getting paid no more? And you don't have the stills anymore, but invest in yourself, invest in your education, and you can make money yourself.
And also, just another big thing too is the fact that when you work in a corporation or when you work a 9 to 5, when you work any other job,
Which I don't think it's a bad thing.
It's not
Honestly,
a bad thing.
Work your 9 to 5, make your money. I don't think it's a bad thing. If you can make it work, but it's not the only way to do it.
Yes, what I was going to say is pretty much like when you work those 9 to 5s every other job, they teach everybody else how to do it. Like, you can be replaced just as quick as anything. Like, everybody else is being taught the same way. Okay, you do this, you move this, you move this. They're going to tell the next individual, you do this, you move this, you do this. Everybody does the same thing.
I think that's true to an extent. Like,
People move companies every 2 years. Company loyalty, I don't even see that being a thing anymore. You work at a company for 2 years and you move. You move companies just to get paid more or better benefits. It's all a business for the employer too.
I think that, like, what you're saying, yeah, that's true. They're going to teach you, like, what to do at the job. But, like, I think that's true on, like, a kind of like a surface level job type shit. Once you, like, finance jobs, you can't teach everybody a finance job. Like, yeah, if you got a finance degree, yeah, you could pretty much teach anybody like that. Even if you got an accounting degree, maybe you could teach them, but it's not something that anybody could just walk in, like a warehouse job type shit where anybody could just walk in. Okay, we gonna put you through this 4-week training and boom, you good to go. Type shit.
Yeah, that is.
But I get what you're saying. It's definitely true though, to a certain extent.
So, Christian,
Yeah.
I want to pretty much like, how does a person, go about joining your club,
Oh, my club, you can. There's free pizza. Free pizza. It's every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, 6 to 7 p.m. State Farm Hall of Business, room 131. I get pizza from Domino's, and you come in. It's like a group. It's like a. Like, I want to make it fun. I want to make it like another class. I know a lot of college kids are taking like 5 classes. They might not want to join a real estate club. It's like, just come in for another class, be boring. But no, I try to make it fun. I try to crack jokes. I try to have a good time. My RSO advisor is Jeff Hahn. If you guys ever had Jeff Hahn as a professor.
He was cool.
He's cool. Yeah, he's my RSO advisor. So I consult him a lot on how to carry out the meeting. So I try to make it fun. I try to have a good time.
I feel like that's especially.
And I may or may not have a drink or two before the meeting, because you can't talk investing without a couple drinks. You know what I'm saying?
So overall, it's very fun atmosphere, very relaxed, very just hey, we vibing, but we talking about real estate.
Yeah.
I fuck with it.
I fuck with it too. Because that's as real as it could get, because at the end of the day, like, you walking into a space where you're trying to essentially give information to people. So you want them to actually see what the value that you're bringing to them.
Yeah. The first meeting, I just kind of went over the basics. I went over the different investing strategies, types of properties. It was like a quick 30-minute meeting. Then I eventually did like a co-speaking event where I found a property off Zillow or something. Yeah. Analyzed it, talked about the power of real estate, where with multifamily properties, you can make like a mil a month, or this time made 9 mil in a year based off properties, or house hacking. Or honestly, what I'm going to do after college is I'm going to get a multifamily property. I'm going to live in one unit, and I'm going to rent out. Let's say you buy a fourplex, which is a 4-unit multifamily property. So you live in one unit and you rent out the other 3. So you're basically living for free. You're taking rent from 3 other units, and you'll pay for your own rent and make money for living.
Okay, but I have a question. So pretty much, but my question is pretty much like, when you're coming out of college, right, it's really hard to make that kind of money to be able to invest in properties. So I'm just saying,
there's a lot of mistakes made. If you're a first-time home buyer, I mean, a lot of people, they try to buy their dream home after college, and that's just bullshit for like what, $300K, like
shit,
and a nice
double
neighborhood,
that now.
and you're basically like chaining yourself to like your property. Just imagine, because you have to pay that property off your whole life. It's not, honestly, if you look for houses as an investment, it's just a lot smarter. A lot of people don't think about it.
Okay.
What was with that? Because I got the same plan. I was gonna get a duplex, but live in one, rent out the other. But with that plan, I basically heard that you just gotta, if you do decide to go that route, you gotta move out within that first year. Because if you don't, I forgot the exact wording, but if you don't, then you don't get that. If you do it on like FHA loan and shit like that, then you don't get that fucking.
Buy a multifamily first. You get 3% down.
Yeah, but if you don't move out within that year, then whatever that loan was, it's not gonna. I forgot what the wording was, but it's not gonna. It's not gonna stay at that 3%.
Yeah, because then you'll go into like a conventional type loan where you have to pay like 20% to 25% down, or you can even go for 5 to 10% down, but you have to pay mortgage insurance on it, which is a good way if you want to pay mortgage insurance. They eventually get up to that 20%.
Right.
But yeah, it does get that. That's why, like, if you're a first-time home buyer, you get on that shit immediately. You get 3% down. If you're a veteran, you can get 0% down because you can get a veteran administration loan, a VA loan, and which is basically like. So if you have any military friends, get them on that because that's basically a good deal.
That's decent. And you mentioned a couple. You talked about a couple of strategies when it comes to like real estate investing. So like, what could be some of the strategies that you try to implement?
So probably the most common one is just buy and hold. So there are 4 returns to real estate investing. There's appreciation, depreciation, like debt, like tax benefits, and cash flow. So cash flow is basically like your assets. So how much cash you have left over after paying it's like gross profit, basically. So how much cash flow is running through your property? How much cash are you getting in hand? And then appreciation. So let's say you buy a home right now, and in 2 years it'll go up in value because of appreciation, right? Yeah. Inflation, right? And depreciation is an accounting term, but be honest, I don't even know the definite definition. So over time, you can like cut your expenses. That's the gist of it. And then tax write-offs. So in your W-2 job, you pay tax on your income, corporate tax rate. But in real estate, there are so many tax benefits to where you can pay almost no tax. And also OPM, other people's money, you can make an income off real estate with other people's money. You don't even have to use any of your own money, too. So those are the 4 returns. So just put it in your mind: appreciation, depreciation, tax benefits, and cash flow.
Yes.
So the most common type of investment strategy is like the buy and hold method. So you buy a property, you hold it, wait for that appreciation to rise, especially now with inflation. So if you buy a home now, it'll just keep going up, and then you sell it. Pretty simple. Or house flipping. So you buy a distressed property, you rehab it, and then you rent it out. You've seen those TV shows where they flip homes and they sell it.
Wouldn't location be a big factor?
Yeah, location. Location is probably a huge factor.
Okay.
Another one is a personal favorite of mine, the Burr method. So you buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and then repeat it. So house flipping, you make a lot of money off house flipping, and then you sell it. But a Burr method is like you don't really sell the house, you just rent it out, and then you repeat the process. So you buy a home, you rehab it. So you flip it, you make it look nice, you know, not crappy, and then you rent it out. Wait, buy rehab. Yeah, you rent it out, and then you cash out refinancing, and then you repeat the process. And refinancing is like a pretty complicated term, but basically the simplest way I can put it is you use money from your old mortgage payment into like a new mortgage payment. You understand?
I'm kind of making sense of it, but I don't fully know if I understand.
Yeah. I would say talk to a bank about it too. Talk to a bank about it. So that's basically the process. I like that one. And what else? Be honest, I don't really think about much others. Like, house hacking. Like I said, yeah, you rent out a property and you rent out a unit and you live in the other, and that's basically those are good ones. And then there's different property types: single family, which is like a single unit with bedrooms, and then multifamily, multiple units, which would be a duplex, triplex, fourplex. There's raw land, so you just buy a piece of land, and then there's commercial properties where you rent out buildings for business use. And when it comes to house hacking, you can actually get really creative with it. I've seen people rent out like RVs or mobile homes, like in their backyard. Or if you live in a more urban areas, you rent out your parking spaces. Like I've seen people do like really creative stuff with it.
So, why real estate?
Like,
Could have did stocks.
Could have did
some engineering shit.
some engineering shit.
Yeah.
Could have did some oil. Why
Real estate?
Why real estate? Because in real estate, so stocks and bonds, those are nice, right? You made money off them, options, whatever. But in stocks, bonds, in the market, you are just a player. You are at the mercy of the market. If the market's going down, you got to follow it. If the market's going up, you follow it. You are at the mercy of the market. You are the player, right? In real estate, you are the coach and the player. You get what I mean? So basically, you call your own shots. You're not at the mercy of the market. That's probably one of my biggest benefits of real estate. You are not at the mercy of the market as like a stock or a bond would be.
Why not?
Why not? Because tax benefits, and it's like the real estate market is hot. It's not going to go down. It's not going to go down. People need a place to live. It's good for the community. Like, people need real estate people. People need a place to live. Businesses need buildings. I don't see, just the stock market it's a financial instrument, right? Stocks and bonds and options, they're financial instruments in a market that are traded between companies, right? But in real estate, it's a physical, tangible asset that people need. People need a home. Businesses need space. Charity organizations, they need stuff. Like, people need a place to stay. People need a place to live. So I don't put it in the same category as like a stock or a bond, because it's going to be hot, and it's going to be hot forever.
Yeah, that's my biggest thing when I'm telling people like, oh yeah, I want to get into real estate, shit like that. Or that's my biggest thing when it comes to like stocks and shit like that, why I'm not very into stocks, is because it's like, I understand it. Yeah, I get it, but the market could be manipulated. It is manipulated.
Yeah, 100%.
Look at what Elon Musk did with Dogecoin.
Yeah, the market is manipulated. Unless you got really insider trading, it's kind of, it's kind of hard to really know what's going on. But like you said, when it comes to real estate, people need a place to live. We never going like,
yeah,
right
you're
now,
sleeping, you're making money because you're getting paid. You're getting paid rent.
Right now, we about to get 8 billion people on the planet. I think it's like, I want to say like 800 million in the United States. But people need a place to live. That's the bottom line. And the second thing is tax free. It's tax free 100%. When you look at stocks, yeah, they got to take a percentage of that. When you look at everything, the government take a percentage of that shit, except real estate. That's the only thing that you can't tax. You can't tax debt. If you buy in real estate with debt and shit like that, it's not taxable. So that's the biggest thing when like stocks, real estate, trading is good, but you just got to understand it.
And be disciplined.
Very disciplined. It builds discipline, but trading is good, stocks is good, but when you just shit, whatever's best for you when you're looking at the pros and cons.
Oh, I want to talk about real estate gurus real quick. So a lot of people get scammed. I almost got scammed actually. So when I first started getting into real estate, because I had a friend who started this club last year. I would like show up to his meetings, listen. I knew nothing about real estate, right? So I would show up to his meetings because I was intrigued to learn, right? Because I wanted to learn. It seemed interesting. And even before that, I would talk to like, go on the internet and try to speak to like these real estate gurus. And I've heard stories of people paying like thousands of dollars for a course that are like the first 100 pages of like a Bigger Pockets how to, like I have the book in my backpack right now. And I was lended that book for free. Like the first 100 pages in that book I read, somebody else paid thousands of dollars to get that information.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah, you see, and it's like commission based. Like you can get really scammed out of it. So, and my club is free. I try to not do that, right? I wanna have. That's another reason why why I wanted to continue this thing, because like a lot of people, they want to learn these things, but a lot of people are just shady. They try to scam you out of it. But this club's free. I try to have a good time with it. I bring in speakers too. I brought in my good friend Elijah. He's 22. He's like basically our age. He's like a year older than me. He's currently in Chicago in the business. I had him come in through Zoom. I had him come speak for us. It was a good time. And I recently spoke to like the Illinois State Credit Union about like credit and mortgage lending. I don't know if I'll have a speaker for that, but I'll make a topic about it. And I have 2 speakers lined up for next semester. So, yeah. So I try to do the best I can with this, and I try to not be like those real estate gurus.
And on average, like how much time would you say you spending planning, like just spending on the group overall?
It's like an hour meeting. It's like 6 to 7. If we had 5, or we also have a social event. We had like a grill out. You guys were there. You guys were at the grill out.
I was there.
It was at the Redbird Property Management Building. We had a grill out there. And then we have another meeting. What day is it today? November 13th. We have another meeting in like 3 weeks, but honestly, I did a poll. I'm like, do you guys want the credit union mortgage lending topic, or because I got offered a course that like I'll take for it and then I'll like present it, or do you want me to delay that for next semester and just go bowling? Everyone said they wanted to go bowling, so I think
that's typical.
I think the last meeting of this fall semester we'll just go bowling and have a good time. Jeff said he'll buy me a round of drinks. Actually, I had that co-speaking event. It was like the 3rd meeting, so I'll tell you a funny story. So I was like, preparing the meeting. It was like 4, and then I took a little break. The meeting starts at 6, by the way. Then at 5 p.m., I did a text from Jeff. He's like, hey, I'm at pub. Do you want to have a couple drinks before the meeting? I'm like, okay. He bought me the drinks, though, which is really cool. I had 3 whiskey on cokes and like 2 shots of bourbon before my meeting, and then I hopped in his Tesla and then went to school.
That was a hell of a ride.
That was a hell of a ride. Yeah. Gotta be.
Yeah, and then I basically presented the meeting, and everyone said it was great. I'm like, All right.
Yes, that's the motto for the meetings.
Like I said, you can't talk investing without a few drinks being involved.
But let's touch on so what's some things you got going on outside of real estate?
Outside of real estate, school. Have fun your senior year, guys. Your senior year as a finance major, you're gonna take
Some hard ass classes.
hard ass fucking classes. Am I able to swear in this podcast?
Go ahead.
All right. So you're taking FIL 341, right, in the fall?
Probably.
Okay. So that's a really hard class. If you take it with Tim Trumbley, he makes his exams super hard. I mean, they're curved, right?
Yes.
Like what have you done in your finance classes? Like stocks, bonds, like you went stocks, PV, have you done like pro forma?
Not yet.
Okay. Yeah, all that, but it's curved. It's really hard. It's
I
curved.
feel like every finance class, like the harder you get into the major, every test is damn near curved.
That's true. Exam 2, there was a fire alarm, so it was a take-home test. Honestly, I studied. You did a cheat sheet. I had 2 cheat sheets front to back that were just written out with information, and like I was still expecting to get like a high D or a C on it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like, but then the fire alarm went off and it was a take-home test, and I'm like, all right, did it with a group of 3.
That's the way to be. Shit.
You're not lying. But also like
Saved my GPA, I think. Well, it's going to.
Oh yeah. And so pretty much too, I feel like a lot of people, the game of Monopoly is mostly always associated with like real estate, So like when you play that game, right? Do you ever look at it like that?
Yeah. When you hold the most assets is what brings you income. It's holding cash. Holding cash in a bank is useless because of inflation eats your dollar away every year, right? If you just hold money in a checking account, I mean, it's pretty much you're just burning money. I just think of it as burning money. You're holding your cash in a checking account, you burn money. But if you hold assets, like I said, appreciation, depreciation. Your cash depreciates over time, right?
Yes.
Every day, every year, your cash is lower in value. Cash goes down, assets go up, right? That's something I read in Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Over time, yeah.
Over time, cash goes down, assets go up. So if you hold the wealthy people hold assets, right?
Yes.
Poor people hold cash. Wealthy people hold assets. Yeah. So yeah, like Monopoly.
That's true as hell. You play Monopoly with a nigga. Some niggas wait for that 200. Hey, I'm just collecting my 200.
We could go buy
Some
a building.
niggas, hey, I'm gonna go buy this so I can give me some houses, then some hotels, type shit.
Nah, for real.
It's really Monopoly.
It's the game of Monopoly. It's so visible when it comes to like the world of like real estate and investing.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like also though most people, at least like growing up, most of us are told from our parents, from the get-go, go to college, save money in your savings just in case a rainy day comes, But they don't, like our parents, our folks were not really big into.
I don't blame them, though.
I don't blame them.
That's how they grew
Yeah,
up.
that's how they grew up. I don't blame them. But
Don't
just
blame at all.
the fact that they didn't really know anything about investing. So now
Guys, I'm
it's
in
up
school to
us.
make my mom happy.
Yes.
If I get a good grade and I text my mom, I got a B, I got an A. She's like, yeah.
No, but I'm just saying, like, it's the fact that, like, they never really have the resources, the knowledge, the education that we have. So it's up to us now to be to make sure the next generation at least understands what is possible.
That makes sense. But I mean, you kind of seeing that now, just with the whole shit, social media, shit like that. If you follow a lot of people that's actually in the business and shit like that, you just see we just trying to shit really create that generational wealth. It's talked about a lot. We actually trying to create it. Some doing better than others, but shit, we actually trying to create it and do shit like that. So I think that's the biggest thing.
Whatever direction you go, just keep going up.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. But like you said, shit's always gonna be rich dad, poor dad. So it's always gonna be rich people, always gonna be poor people. But
What was your biggest
You want
takeaway?
your income to go to your assets, not to your expenses.
Okay. What was your biggest takeaway from that book? Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Rich Dad.
Yeah.
Like probably what I just said. You want to put your income. You want to hold assets, not hold cash.
I feel like.
And then like his poor dad. You know, he had a PhD. He was a doctor, and he was making a good salary, like $200K a year. But he died with bills left unpaid. And then Rich Dad, he didn't even go to college. He just invested in real estate and other things, and he was a millionaire. It just showed me that like sometimes like you kind of just beat the education. Like he wasn't a very high status man. Like he didn't go to college. He didn't have an education like his poor dad did, but his lifestyle was so much better, and it was just the skills he learned and the skills he implemented. It was that mindset that I took away.
It's like sometimes the road not taken is what some people need to take. And I feel like some people it's just kind of hard to
Going to college is great.
It's great.
You meet so many people. It's
great for networking.
You're never gonna be in a town surrounded by 20,000 people your age ever again.
Yep.
Like once I'm gonna graduate in May, and I'm probably gonna be a little upset about it because and especially in real estate. Real estate is 80% networking. Like you want to network your ass off in real estate. Like you want to speak to real estate investors all the time. Like for example, like the second Tuesday or fourth Tuesday of every month, I go to like a local Bloomington investors meeting just to hear them speak. I just want to hear them talk and ask questions, right? That's the thing you got to do. You want to show up to real estate events, go on meetup.com or go into forums. I go into forums a lot on Bigger Pockets, and I ask questions about just things I'm curious about. And you want to be hungry for that information, and it's a social business. You want to be like, a cool guy. You want to be a sociable guy. You want to be able to talk. You want to be likable. The more likable you are, the more successful you'll be in real estate. Because if people like you, they'll give you their time, right? They'll give you their time,
which is the most valuable asset,
right? And finding a mentor is super important. You want to find a mentor that kind of maybe hold your hand a bit or just help you out, right?
Just somebody actively in the business.
Somebody actively in the business if you're not in the business yet. So if you're a people person and people like genuinely like you, that goes a long way. I'd rather be the most sociable person ever and know nothing about real estate. I feel like sometimes it's not what you know, it's who you know. So you want to really, even if you don't want to get into real estate, you still want to network. You want to find those internships. You want to meet with employers. If you're not networking in college, you're wasting your money.
Like you're really missing out for real.
You're missing out.
Because it's like you're
never gonna have this networking opportunity again. You're in a town with 20,000 kids your age from all different walks of life, with professors who are experts in the field. Make use of it, right? Put yourself out there. Like, trust me, like I was scared too. Like I was scared to do this real estate club stuff. Just like I didn't know nothing about real estate. I'm like, and Trevor, he wanted me to do it. I'm like, why are you making me the president? He's like, because I want you to learn. That's what he told me. So I'm like, all right, bet. Right? You sometimes, if you want to learn something, you need to put yourself out there. You need to put yourself out there, and you need to make yourself uncomfortable, right? Because like I was scared. Like I used to be very scared of public speaking. Public speaking like used to terrify the shit out of me, right? Like I would rather die than public speak. Like that's how bad I was. Like I would rather jump out this window than go public speak, but and public speaking in a class is 1,000 times different than public speaking in real life. Because you public speak, you give a presentation in class, it's nothing like what I did with the real estate. Like it was so much different because everybody's in the room, like 20 people, they're just all staring at me. They're just there for me. I'm like, so yeah. But you just gotta push through it, and you just gotta go through with it. Roll with the punches. I've made mistakes, right? I've may have choked up a bit while I was speaking, but you just learn along the way. And yeah, most people, like, there's been studies done that, like, the way it's subconscious, but subconsciously, some people, or a good portion of people, they would rather die than public speaking. So if you have a skill of public speaking, you're able to, stand in front of a group of people and give a presentation, that's a huge skill. Like, that's something I'll have in my resume, and that's something I will tell every employer, is that, public speaking skills. You want, like I said, you want to be sociable. So that's probably the biggest thing I learned from the real estate club. It's not just about real estate. It's about like
life in general.
It's about life in general, right? It's about overcoming your fears.
Oh yeah, like
100%.
Like being able to communicate is probably it's probably number one on my top skills. Just cause it's like, if you're able to communicate, one, you can get people to do things for you. People can get you to do things for you. Two, you are able to actually express your emotions. Three, you are actually able to conversate and actually get an understanding of what that other person is trying to get across to you. If you can't communicate, it's pointless of being a human if you can't communicate. Mm-hmm. At least I think it's pointless to be a human if you can't use your voice to bring about change that you want to see or implement it, or two, if somebody else can't get something across to you.
Yeah, I was going to say I add listening. Or what?
Yeah,
I put communicating and listening.
It's like
one A, one B.
Yeah, one. It's like those skills are needed in any field you go to, any field.
Do something uncomfortable every day, and you'll see how happy your mood becomes.
100%.
For example, like after my first real estate meeting, I was deathly terrified of speaking in front of people. I did it. I walked out of that meeting with a smile on my face. So on the other side of fear is bliss. Right? I was afraid. It's like skydiving. You're about to jump off this plane. Like, your mind is going like, bro, you're not fucking built for this. You're a fucking human. So, and then you jump off the plane, and then you're in the sky, but then, right? You just feel good, and you finish the task, and you're happy.
It's like doing a backflip.
Yeah, it's like doing a backflip for the first time.
It's all mental.
Or let's say you step into the ring for a match, or you step on the mat for a match, and you fight, and then you walk off, and there's a smile on your face, right? You did something you were afraid to do. You did something that put yourself out there, that made yourself uncomfortable, but it made you happier.
And to go along with what you just said too, this is my task for everybody that's listening. Right when you wake up, just make your bed. Just make your bed, go do whatever you want to do throughout the day. You're going to come back, you're going to see your bed made, and you're going to be happy. You're going to jump in like a motherfucker.
Bro, my mom and my grandma used to tell me that shit, like, when I was a kid. Like, why you don't make your bed up? Make your bed up in the morning. You're supposed to make your bed up. You're like, bro, it's just I'm finna get right back in it like 12 hours later. It'll be okay, bro. I don't need to make it up. But like you said, that shit is real. Make that shit up. It do something to you.
You just gonna come back home happy as fuck that your bed is already made. Like, now you get to make it messy again.
Just make shit look more complete.
Oh yeah. And then, so you touched on a little bit too about, like, being around here and like networking, because this is the only time that gonna be around people your age and you can network with them. Mm-hmm. So when you network with them, how do you maintain the relationships? Like, like, how do you constantly make sure, okay, I met you one time, but it's okay, like, we gonna be able to maintain this relationship just in case you need something from me, just in case I need something from you.
Just reaching out, dude. So many people don't reach out to people. It's crazy. Like, some of my best friends in life, they're people who reach out to me. Like, to be honest, I really appreciate that. Just people don't just reach out to people. Like, maybe to, like, let's get fucked up or do drugs or with something, but like to actually just sit down and have deep, meaningful conversations, be over a beer, that's fine. But yeah, people don't do that. So, like, for example, like my roommates, I'm roommates with them because they've reached out to me just to talk about life. So, and I really appreciated that. Like you guys too. You guys are good friends of mine because I reached out to you. You guys reached out to me about this podcast, and we're here having good, deep conversations, having quality time.
Almost a year later.
And I really, a year later, basically a year later. So, so I really appreciate something like that.
And I feel like people take the small things for granted. Like this is like being able to maintain a relationship is not a monetary value. It's bigger than the monetary value, because at the end there's just like, you care for me as a human being. People like to be cared for, but I just feel like sometimes we overlook the small things. Like, oh, yo, damn, I'm about to go watch this fight. Why don't I can invite him to come watch it with me? I can invite her to come watch it with me. I'm about to go to the bar. I can invite her to come go with me. I can invite him to go with me. But it's just people get scared of, okay, I might be bothering them. For all you know, they're probably waiting for you to touch them.
They waiting.
For all you know. But it's just, you make up all these things in your head, and then now you're just like, you don't want to reach out because you have convinced yourself everything that's in your head is true. And that'd be sad for how, like, people fall out about the dumbest for shit. Like, that's how some people fall out sometimes, because you just make shit in your head to be true.
I just look at it like shit. Just look how you feel when somebody asks you shit. Do you want to go somewhere? Shit, let's slide here, let's slide there. You be like, all right, bet. Shit, let's do it.
No, for real.
Like, when you ask somebody to do that, they gonna have the same shit. Oh shit, come on, let's do it.
You fuck with me for real.
Yeah, let's do it.
And it's just, I feel like sometimes I get to even do better on that, because I feel like sometimes, you know, I just overlook certain shit like that. It's just like, oh, maybe he's busy, maybe she's busy. I don't like you just start to make up all these excuses in your head to make sure whatever you're doing is justifiable. The whole time you're just trying to stop yourself from doing something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, shit, we live and we learn. That's life.
That's life. So what has been some of your biggest takeaway from life, you know? Because I feel like you've had a lot of experiences.
Be kind.
Why you say that? Be kind.
Be kind. Because you want to leave a last. Let's say you have beef with someone. You have beef with some guy or some girl, right? If you were kind 100% of the way through, you will leave a lasting impression. For like, let me tell you, they will boomerang. They will come back. If you're truly nice to them, they will come back. They will boomerang off, and then it's basically the ball's in your court at that point. I think be kind, be genuine, be kind all the time. That's the best way to do it.
I feel like sometimes it's hard to be kind.
It is. It's super hard. I mean, honestly, I learned how to be kind through martial arts. Like, I learned how to be kind. Like I started wrestling when I was like 10 until I was like 18 throughout high school. And then my brother, he's a big fighter, boxer, all that. Then I got into like kickboxing and jiu-jitsu after high school, training that for a while. Honestly, it made me, like some people think like, oh, that makes you a badass. That makes you, oh, I'm like hard, you know, talking shit to everyone, just like whatever. But it's like, no, it made me it made me a very nice person. I feel like I've been in that situations where I was dead tired, like true fatigue, like true physical and mental fatigue, blood all over my face, trying to fucking kill this guy, choke him out. Like I've been in those situations, but like you just take something from it. And like honestly, I respect everyone who does that. I respect my opponents. I respect the coaches. I respect everybody. And if it's made me so kind to people. Like I try to be as kind as possible. Like I do say out of pocket things, because like that's my sense of humor. Like I say like, okay, like maybe if I'm like just around the guys or I'm in the moment at some point, like I'll say something very out of pocket, but that's because I think it's funny. Well, like, I'm not trying to be an asshole. But like, yeah, just be kind to people.
And I feel like you being able to, you know, fight, mix martial and everything, you come to the understanding of actually respecting your opponent just because you understand the amount of work they're putting. You understand how much effort and discipline it gets for them to even get in the ring with you or for you to get in the ring with them. because they can't just come in the ring just because they've been training for one day. It's a long process of, so you understand and you feel on the same level as them, that amount of like discipline you have put in to get to that level, you know. I feel like that could be the biggest reason why, like, I hear that all the time from a lot of fighters. Every single time they're like, I respect my opponent. Like, I respect the person I'm about to go in the ring with. Like, we might not like each other. We might talk shit to each other 24/7, but you still respect them.
It's all marketing. I mean, Connor changed. I mean, like, Toby Covington.
Yes.
Like, before he turned into like the MAGA Trump supporter archetype, like personality type, like Dana said he was so boring. Like, Toby was so boring that he was gonna cut him from the UFC. So he basically changed his whole persona into what he is today. So if you think about it, it's like kind of marketing too. If you want to market a fight.
Oh yeah. Because at the end of the day, you want people you want to bring as much ice as possible.
Yeah.
Shit,
like Connor, like McGregor, he's very good at doing that. I think he lost this weekend, which I was very upset about. I think some Brazilians can be very cocky, but I mean, they're also like good at a lot of sports. But
it was a good fight in general.
It was a good fight. I think Adesanya is a better striker, anyways. I think Pierre, whatever. I think he's flat-footed. I think he's flat-footed, but.
So if I had gone the distance, who would have won? Like, if we went to the judges.
I think Adesanya.
Adesanya would have won.
Adesanya was hitting clean shots. Pierre got saved by the bell. It's just unfortunate. They're gonna fight again though.
Oh yeah.
I hope Adesanya wins and there'll be a trilogy.
That's what I was literally just thinking about that. Yeah. I was like, ain't no way. I mean, it's cool and all, but he's 3-0 against him. But it's just the fact that you are 1-0, you are 1-0 in the UFC. So if he wins the next one, it might as well just be a trilogy. Honestly, to see who's the best one.
They fought before in 2 kickboxing matches. So actually, overall, Adesanya is 0-3 against him.
Yeah, 0-3, 3-0 against him. Yeah,
1-0. I mean, 0-1 in the UFC, but yeah.
I just feel like I just respect anybody that does any type of fighting for a living, bro.
It's rough as hell. Mentally, physically.
Oh my god. How do your family look you in the eyes every day, knowing you are about to go hop in the ring, bro?
Shit's draining, man.
And it's
yeah, I understand that. My parents, they definitely don't like my brother doing it. Like there's like a 7-year difference between me and my older brother. So I think if he comes home with like a black eye, or one time he came in with like stitches above his eyebrow, she flips her shit, right? Yeah, so I like, if I'm gonna step on a mat or if I'm gonna do something, I don't really tell my parents. I'll be honest, I don't want them to worry like that. So,
and as a parent, that's your job, to worry.
Yeah, honestly, my dad kind of has more like I look like my mom, but like I have more of my dad's personality. So honestly, I can probably tell him stuff and he'd be like, all right, have fun.
Just don't get your ass kicked.
Yeah, right.
Tell him.
Or no, he worries a lot. When my brother had like his like big boxing matches, like my dad's the type to like pace around in a circle, and like there'd be a bar in the middle. Like, he'd pace around, he'd get a drink, and then circle around. He'd keep getting drinks circling around.
Because he can't just stand still and just watch.
No, he can't stand still. He can't. So, he worries too, but he kind of, like, just lets it happen.
Because he's at least okay with the decision he's making. I guess that's the way you could put it.
Yeah. My brother's in a fight soon, actually. I think he just had another boxing match recently. He wants to go into the cage now, like straight MMA.
Oh shit!
So that's gonna be fun. I think he's gonna fight in beginning of next year. So I'll be excited for that. Go watch him. Would I be nervous for him? 100%. Yeah. But yeah. See how it goes.
Do you and your brother ever like really spar? Like in the ring?
I think he's actually, I would say, growing up, there's like a 7-year. So when I was 11, he was like 18. If I tried fighting him,
yeah, that's not
get the shit out of me. And he has, honestly, like I was 8 years old, 11, 12. I'd fight my brother and I would just get beat down like every day. Not like actually like a blood, like she just smacked me around, and just throw me on the fucking wall. But yeah, there's nothing I can do. I would say I am a better wrestler than my brother. No offense. I mean, I have better. I mean, he's been training a bit more than me. I like since I've been here, I've been getting kind of lazy training jiu-jitsu. Like I still hit the bag, I crunch, and I lift and whatever. But I would say I developed more like wrestling still growing up because I wrestled longer. He's a purple belt in jiu-jitsu, and I would say he definitely has better hands than me. He's definitely a way better boxer, probably striker in general. I would say my best bet, if I were to fight my brother right now, is like I'd have to go for the takedown and just Habib him. I don't know. It's like maybe I didn't stay on my feet for a little bit against my brother, but like, you know, like I don't know. I definitely wouldn't be. He'd fuck me up in a boxing match. That's for sure.
So where does a purple belt rank in the? You said jiu-jitsu,
There's
right?
white belt, blue belt, purple belt, brown belt, and black belt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh shit! So he
Like right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
hard.
I probably just have wrestling over him, but it's okay.
And then what's like the weight difference, height difference?
I am taller than my brother, and I naturally weigh more than him. He's probably done a fight at like 155 or 145, and right now I'm like 180.
Okay.
Oh shit!
I mean, I don't see weight being like
A big difference.
a big difference for me and my brother, honestly. Like I said, my best bet would be to use my wrestling to take him down, and then try to not make him move. He's gonna move. I know he's gonna move. Just Habib him and just close my legs and just try to find.
I hope he's listening.
Find a chink in the armor. Just,
I hope he's gonna listen to this.
he's gonna try to kick my ass, but it's fine.
And then also going along, I want to go back to like investing and all stuff like that. I want to like pretty much like, you know, remember we were fresh. No, was I? No, we were freshmen. So I think you were probably a sophomore when the whole AMC, all that stuff came out. You know, remember? You remember?
Wait, you repeat that?
Do you remember when AMC?
That was second semester freshman.
We was freshmen, so you were probably a sophomore.
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah, when all the AMC stuff came out, when did you start looking at the market? I guess that's the best way.
When I start looking at the market,
Yeah.
honestly, like fairly like recently, like I probably started actually like paying attention to stuff since like the last spring.
Oh shit, that was like 2021, COVID year, kind of. No,
It
2021.
was like
So 2022 spring.
Like I'm actually,
Oh, shit.
I'm fairly early. Like I'm fairly late to this. So like I said, when I say I put myself out there, I really did. Like I didn't know shit about real estate until I started showing up to like the first year's meetings in the spring, and then I didn't know anything. He's like, "Do you want to do it?" I'm like, "I don't know shit." He's like, "Well, you're gonna learn, aren't you?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then he lended me books, and then over the summer, I just, doing the best I can with it.
So pretty much like, would you? Because I feel like for somebody to give you that responsibility of being a president, that means he got a lot of faith and trust in you.
Yeah, like I said, I was always, if anyone wants to talk to me about like real estate, like one-on-one or talk about his life, I'm down to have, coffee, tea or whatever. Like I was always down to talk, like I said, reaching out. I reached out to him and I'm like, I want to talk to you. I want to learn. I'd have, a beer or something or whatever. That's probably where being sociable. I was just very sociable with him. So that's what I recommend. That's what I recommend people doing, is to be sociable and talk to people. Like you want to talk to people.
So also, I just wanted to ask, like, how did you get out of your comfort zone? Because you can't just wake up one day like, oh, I'm out of my comfort zone, So, like, how did you work towards getting out of your comfort zone?
I had a slow process. I mean,
Would you just say it's just trial and error every time you would speak or every time?
trial and error. I mean, obviously, I was probably a lot shyer in high school. Like, if I was as sociable as now, if I was like in high school, it'd be a lot different. Like, I just didn't really like. I was only friends with like probably my wrestling buddies and like a few other people in high school. Like, I wasn't like, you know, a bad kid, but like I was trying to just keep to myself, and I was very reserved. Like, I didn't really talk to people, just didn't, probably kind of scared to. But I guess once I graduated, I started to like change over time, right?
Gradually.
Now I became, you know, now I think I myself is pretty sociable. So that it was like a slow process of just like wanting to change myself.
I feel like
From being more reserved to being more outgoing. 'Cause, like, for example, my brother's super outgoing. Like, I can remember as far back, like my brother, like always talking to people, having a bunch of friends, and like I was more like quiet, like laid back, like kind of like in the background. And I guess that kind of like made me feel less important. Not important, but like just kind of like, you know, like an NPC. I don't know how to say it. So over time, it just I was like, all right, I gotta become more outgoing. I gotta start talking to more people, and I gotta put myself out there. Obviously, I'm scared to do it, but if I want to change, if I do the same thing every year, I'm never gonna change. So I gotta do something. So that's pretty much what I went with.
And for everybody listening, pretty much what he's trying to get to the bottom of is pretty much if you continuously want to make a progressively change towards anything, it's up to you to want to be the person that want to change, you know? Like, yeah, people could tell you, people around you could be like, oh, do this, do that. But at the end of the day, it's just up to you. Like, if you really want to implement that into your day-to-day life, like, you can't just gradually change out of nowhere. You got to, first off, you got to see what problem is. You gotta see what the problem is. You gotta see what potentially could be the solution. You gotta see the reward, and then you gotta be able to see. You gotta be able to look at every angle as possible. You can't just wake up one day like, oh shit, I'm a new person. You can't just do that. You know, like he's just saying, like he progressively had to work towards it.
Yeah, it's not an overnight thing. You're not gonna wake up and be like, man, I'm such a good public speaker. I'm such an amazing man. You're not gonna wake up and just be everything you want to be. It's gonna take a lot of time.
A lot of time and a lot of effort.
A lot of effort.
I just think take it one day at a time. Shit, that's the biggest thing. Never get too high, never get too low. Take care of
your health too. Be more confident.
How do you take care of your health?
Just like working out. You know, self-care. Like, I'm very big on self-care and having like routines, so that makes me feel better about myself and more confident. Okay. Yeah, if you're more confident, you will be more sociable.
Yeah. I feel like they go hand in hand. Because it's just like,
at least for me, yeah. that's how my mind works.
At least
it's
for me
like
too.
If I look like a bum, and I'll feel like a bum, I'll talk like a bum, I'll move like a bum. But if I feel like a teen, or if I'll look like a teen, I'll smile like a teen, I'll talk like a teen, I'll move like a teen, I'll breathe like a teen.
And also, I feel like people don't realize posture. Like your posture when standing up, your posture when talking to somebody, your posture when just even walking. Like the way somebody carries themselves can tell you so much about how they're feeling, what is going on. Because like, let's just say you come into class and you just slouch 24/7. For the person speaking to you, it shows that you don't want to be there. You don't care. But if you come to a class where you know your posture, you sitting up straight, you actually looking at the person eye to eye. I'm having a conversation with you. I'm looking at you in the eyes. You know, it shows a different type of level of respect. Like, oh, he really want to be here. He cares for me being here. And I feel like people don't realize that people can not everybody can read body language, but a lot of people can read body language. A lot of people could tell when you're not fucking with them. A lot of people could tell when you just here just the bullshit, you know. And I feel like a lot of people don't realize that. Just the way you approach somebody could be the end of the conversation.
I think that shit, a lot of, what you're saying is true, but shit, like you're saying, a lot of people don't, like, pay attention to that shit. They don't pay attention to their body language. So a lot of times you can't, I try not to read too deep into it because they not even aware of what the fuck, what the fuck going on. So, but what you're saying, that's 100% true. With body language, shit like that, people could definitely tell. Like, if you're having a conversation, people could definitely tell if you ready to get the fuck, if you ready to stop talking. They could sense that.
They could sense it.
If you really engaged, they could really sense that. You making eye contact, shit. It's just like a handshake. When you shake a man's hand, he could really tell if like you. He could tell a lot from
a handshake.
Your hand. You look him in his eye, give him a firm handshake. You know.
What is that grip like?
he could tell a lot. You could tell a lot from a man's handshake. I think that's the biggest thing. But man, it's been a pleasure having you on back again for part 2, man.
It's been a great episode.
A lot of gyms, real estate, fitness, finance, and whole life, man. All of that, man. But if you want to get the people somewhere to get in contact with you and the real estate club.
Real estate club, oh, of course. So you can follow me on Instagram. It's at Gavriluti Cristian. It's basically my name. I guess it'll be in the bio. It'll be in the bio because some people my name's kind of hard to spell. But if you want to follow the real estate page, go to at Real Estate ISU
on Instagram.
So go to Instagram at Real Estate ISU. Follow our Instagram page because there will be updates on what we're doing for the club. It'll be a good way to follow us. And if you show up to the meeting, I'll give you an access link to the group me.
Free pizza.
Free pizza, yeah. You want some pizza?
Free pizza.
Come to the real estate club.
And it's a great place to network as a college student.
Yeah, it's a great place to network. That's literally the point.
Networking, man.
Network.
It's been a pleasure to have you on here. Please, Freestyles Podcast. And everybody listening, please don't stop learning.
Never stop learning, man.
Y'all
it's the Freestyles Podcast. We out.
Man, we out.
Her whistle, I'm getting revenge. Fuck the bitch once and I cut the loose ends. She say that she hate me, I fucked the best friend. She say that she hate me, so that's a